This day revives memories. On an occasion like this, I pay tribute to the foresight and selflessness of Abi George, then entertainment editor of Ghanaian Times, Ben Akumini and Ben Mason, who worked with the arts page of the Daily Graphic, Carl Adiman Bannerman from the Solid Black program on GBC, Harriet Manson, the only female DJ at the time, Godwin Abenobo, and Charlie Sam, who were with the GBC 2 at the time. This gentleman and lady formed the nucleus of the Entertainment Critics and Reviewers Association of Ghana, aircraft at the time. This was in 1978. Others joined, such as Ernest Abekwe of GFIC, the Film Industry Corporation, Nana Billy Danson of the Mirror, Nana Sika Champon, then with the Movie Spectator. Yours truly, then with the Ghanaian Times, I was the founding secretary. It is tempting to describe this effort as a first scheme to award deserving artists on a national scale, but it will not be entirely correct. The Daily Graphic newspaper had, in 1974 or thereabouts, through a nationwide newspaper poll, selected Annie Johnson's Madame Fova as the best song of that year. That was the first time any institution was honoring a Ghanaian artist. It was so, the ACRAG Awards was so credible, so credible that any artist who went to the American Embassy, the Dutch Embassy, the British High Commission for a visa and claimed that he was a national star, was asked to prove that he was a national star. Invariably, what they produced was an ACRAG certificate, or a trophy, or a citation. I remember Alex Kunilu and others came to me later in my office. In those days, we should have taken bribes. I would have been rich by now. Then I had to sign off something for them to go to the embassy for the visa. When they want the visa. I've gone down this memory lane because the Onyimpon Awards, which we are launching this morning, is carved in the image of the ACRAG, in the sense that it is not an award for one art form or one scheme. It is the mother of the arts. It is actually a culture industry awards, in the sense that we will be handing out awards to musicians, including artists and institutions in folk and traditional music, highlife music, hip life, Afrobeat, etc., playwrights, filmmakers, weavers, architects, book writers, sculptors, and painters, the full gamut of the culture space. The Center for Communication and Culture, organizers of this dream, originators of this dream, is proud to share this dream with the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, the Ghana Tourism Authority, and the Ghana Culture Forum. The Ghana Culture Forum is the largest advocacy platform made up of cultural associations, practitioners, and activists from the domains of Ghana's cultural space. What's in the name Onyimpon? Onyimpon derives from the fantasy Akan word Onyimpa, which means human being. However, there are those who are outstanding when it comes to deepening excellence in identification with our cultural heritage. The Onyimpon is a paragon, one in whom all the fullness of excellence in African art dwells richly. That is the true African. In the performing arts, visual arts, culinary arts, literary arts, etc., the full range of artistic expressions, Onyimpon is an icon of culture whose lifetime contribution to cultural enrichment remains a monumental testimony to the Ghanaian heritage. Our event is in two parts. The awards night is on Friday, 13th September. 13th September 2024. And it has been chosen deliberately and carefully and advisedly to commemorate the 125th birthday anniversary of Dr. Ephraim, who was born on that day in 1899. Fixing this date for us is a statement. We are simply saying that Ephraim has not been celebrated enough. He not only originated a young concern song, he not only gave us our alternative national anthem, Inara Assassin, he was a total cultural advocate who lived out his African culture in songs, clothing, and food preference. Teaching at the Okropong Presbyterian Training College, Ephraim used to preach at church services on Sundays. His craft was that he would preach wearing African jumper and cross. The colonial school administrators gave him several warnings to desist and revert to the Western shirts and trousers or the full suit. Heeding none of these warnings, he was fired. As the Okropong village saw him off into the vehicle on which he was to travel outside of the Okropong, the people sang the song which he had taught the students and had become popular with the townsfolk. The song was in Grady, that is a parting farewell song. I was working to the number, if you have heard that one, it's very well. So the song he taught the people to use for was used for him. No longer had he left the Okropong, and Achimota went for him. And Achimota went for him to prove the efficacy of the black and white keys concept, which Dr. Emmanuel Agri, the African price principal, had coined. So he continued his music there. Remember, the founding of the Institute, the founding of the Institute of African Studies, University of Ghana, was based on papers submitted to the first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, by Ephraim. The Onyimpon Awards will recognize cultural legends or icons for lifetime achievements. We are driven by a desire for African authenticity and original thought. We are inspired by the works of Dr. Kuku, who integrated traditional plant medicine with scientific research, culminating in the founding of the Center for Plant Medicine Research at Onyimpon. Remember, he was a Western-trained doctor who came and saw the efficacy of traditional plants. From the First Republic to the Fourth Republic, every president of Ghana has been sworn into office holding the Akofena state sword. After swearing, they sit on the presidential seat. I think it's here, the presidential seat. This one. It's in Parliament. The presidential seat, every president sits on it. In most parliaments, there stands the mace, the highest symbol of authority. In Ghana's parliament, Kwame Nkrumah insisted that the design should reflect its Africanness. And he worked with Onyimpon to do all of that. The seat, the mace, and all. Ifwa Sutherland knew her audiences when she wrote The Marriage of His Wife and designed the then architecture of the drama studio located where the National Theatre now stands. The architecture was designed to accommodate African drama. So, for example, Mary Vanaswa, the moment somebody thought about something, it is there. You know that if you have seen the play. But lest the Center for Communication and Culture be accused of going into the past and living there, or being fixated in the quaint and ancient, we give culture its full meaning by recognizing the works and contributions of contemporary artists. Our bias, however, will remain for artists whose works betray their African origins. Listen to the music of Fela Anikulapo Kuti of Nigeria, Salif Keita of Mali, Yusuf Noor of Senegal, and Angelique Kidjo of Benin. And you are in no doubt that this is from Africa. Listen to the music of Amanziba Nadu, Rex Omar, Uyala, Sharif Agun, and Kina Yusufa. And there's only one conclusion: they are unmistakably African, reflecting an admirable mix of their cultural heritage, contemporary influences, and contemporary influences. The latest to imbibe the African authenticity is Onyimpon. The African root is unmistakable in the song Manoji. Manoji, yes. See how beautiful art is. And art is beautiful in all its forms. When Professor Joe Graffs put his argument in his play Sons and Daughters, he came to the conclusion that art also can pay. The Center for Communication and Culture recalls this work of art to express our amazement that it is taking forever for the powers that be to be convinced on the need to reform the educational system to the benefit of children who are artistically endowed. Why are we expressing their talents? In what way are they, why are we suppressing their talents? Why must they wait till the tertiary level to start formal study in dance or music? Music teachers have become an endangered species. As a people, aren't we making the same mistake our parents made when they looked down on football and actively dissuaded their children from taking to the sport? Today, as footballers like Mark Elysian, Asamoah Gyan, Mohamed Kudus earn salaries in multiple figures, as they ride in their Bugattis and live in their $1 million mansions, our minds are shifting. People want to encourage their children to play football. Years ago, it was a crime to play football. And that's what we are doing to our children who are artists, potential. Selection for the Onyimpon Awards will be by a board of eminent Ghanaians, including artists, academics, and directors of culture. Chief directors from the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. I think there's only one chief director. The others are directors. Directors, heads of domain in the culture forum, fellow artists, colleague journalists, are end on a note of gratitude to you. Thank you for honoring our invitation. There is a place for vote of thanks on this morning's launch program. Ahead of that, however, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to mention 3 gentlemen whose love for me, for culture, and artistic mobility make this morning's event a success. I single out Mr. Agbego, Chief Director for the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. He went beyond the call of duty. He showed love. That was only last Friday. What could we have done without that gospel of musical and culture for Ruthie? And Mr. Kusumbim, the lecturer at the University of Media, Arts and Communication. Thank you.